Hi guys, I'm Dr. Tara Tobias. I want to welcome you all back to my channel today. Today's video is going to be the last video of this little mini series on how to work on regaining movement in the arm after a stroke or a brain injury. So just to recap, in the first video I talked about the two big picture problems that can happen after a stroke: an arm that is flaccid or very low tone and very weak, and an arm that is very spastic or high tone and has a tendency to stay flexed up. And then in the videos following that, we broke that down. We did some exercises for passive range of motion, meaning helping it with either the cane or with your other hand to move that shoulder into flexion, abduction, and rotating it out. And then we went into a little bit of isolated elbow movement, so straightening that arm out. And then we went into more active movement. So that last video with the cane, it seems like that was pretty helpful for a lot of you, so I am happy about that. And then in today's video, it's just one last little component. I'm not going to go in depth on the wrist and the hand. I know I was getting some comments in those earlier videos. It's really complicated and it requires a lot of steps to get active movement back in the hand and the wrist. Most of the time it is the final piece that comes back. So a lot of times you'll get the shoulder back first, then the elbow, and it kind of works its way down the arm. So that's why I saved the hand and the wrist until the last video. And so then in today's video, we are gonna go over how to passively, so with your other hand, extend the wrist and open the hand. But before I show you how to do that, there are two big picture things that you need to keep in mind when it comes to the wrist and the hand. And I've mentioned this before, but that is that the harder you work, a lot of times the stronger those muscles are, or the more active they are. So the more your hand and your wrist is going to flex up and the hand's going to fist up. So that's really important to remember. So one big component to regaining movement or recovering movement in the hand is to prevent this from happening as much as possible throughout the day. And a lot of times the only way to do that is with some kind of a splint or a brace. So if you have a splint, it is extremely important that you wear it. You might not even be aware of it, but your hand, if you are high tone, whenever you do anything, is fisting up like this in most cases. So that splint is critical, because if every time you move your hand is doing that, then your hand is closed most of the time and those muscles become tight and it makes it that much harder to open the hand. So wearing your splint whenever you're not doing therapy is really, really important. And then when you are doing therapy or you are working on other parts of the arm, either the shoulder, the elbow, some of the exercises I showed in the earlier videos, you want to retrain the arm to move, so the shoulder and the elbow to move without the wrist and the hand doing that. So that is critical to regaining what I call voluntary movement of the wrist and the hand, is if every time you go to reach, because you're getting shoulder and elbow back, the hand flexes up like this, then you've lost the ability to functionally use the arm. So that's why in that last video I showed the shoulder and the elbow exercises with a hand splint on, is that ultimately you want to be able to move the shoulder and the elbow without the hand fisting up. So those are two things that are extremely important, in addition to what we're going to do today, which is passively opening that hand every day. So using your uninvolved hand to extend that wrist and open that hand every day. So I do get some questions or comments saying I don't really give you a number or a length of time that you should do these exercises every day. And the reality is, the more the better. So this isn't your typical strengthening program like a lot of you are probably used to from before your stroke happened. So there's not really the risk of overdoing it. So I would say as much time as possible. And you don't have to set time aside to do these things. You could do it in the car. You could do it while watching television. The nice thing about the hand and the wrist is you don't really need a whole lot of equipment, and if you're sitting down, you can pretty much work on this exercise. So enough of me talking. Let's go ahead and move on to the demonstration. So I get this question a ton, and I'm gonna show it and do a video. I'm not gonna say this is gonna be my last time I'm gonna show this in a video, but I have shown it in several different videos of opening the hand. So I'm gonna show it one more time, but now I'm just gonna start redirecting questions that I get back to one of the previous videos that I've done on opening the hand. So elbow supported, hand starts kind of hanging off the table. I'm gonna pull that thumb out first. Wrist is still flexed. Try and work some of those fingers underneath. Try and get, if it's really fisted, just be patient and try and really work those fingers underneath there while I'm still holding that thumb out. Just to get the hand open just a little bit and just sit and just wait. So I'm still holding that thumb out as much as I can, trying to coordinate those other fingers underneath there. Now once I get there and I'm not getting as much resistance, I'm going to use my uninvolved arm to kind of push this arm back onto the table. So now my wrist is extending, but the table is going to help to get those fingers extended. Still holding that thumb out. I'm going to try and keep that thumb out to the side and use my hand to push my fingers down flat. This method is not going to work for everyone. Some of you, your tone is just too strong and you really need to just have someone help you with this activity. But the table really helps, and then you're just going to put pressure on it. And if you do it slow enough, you should slowly start to feel that spasticity go down a little bit and those fingers relaxed. So now in this position, you're stretching the thumb out to the side, you're stretching all the fingers into extension, getting it out of that fist. And that is how you open and stretch the hand. Now to turn the hand over, if you're already in this position, now your fingers might ball back up, and that's just kind of the nature of the beast. If you have a hand splint, you know, once you get that hand open, you could put your hand splint on so that your fingers stay open. But now in this position, you can also work on what we call supinating the hand. The way I remember it is it's like holding a cup of soup. So you supinate the hand, like you're going to hold a cup of soup in your hand. That's supination. And that's really important because remember, the pronators, which run all the way along here, that's why you'll get a lot of pain up through here sometimes when you do this, runs all the way up to the elbow. Those are usually overactive muscles. So that is why we work towards supination. To stretch those pronator muscles. Now with the elbow supported, this is also a great place. This is a little more advanced. If you're really tight, it's not going to work in this position, but this is where we're going to stretch the shoulder. Another way you can stretch the shoulder towards external rotation. Again, if you're super tight, it's not going to work. Your arm's just going to go out to the side. I'll put a link in the description below where I show a method where you can strap your arm to your body. I'm not going to do it again in this video, but I'll put a link up here. Still not sure if that's right. I'll put a link up here to that video where I show putting a strap around your body to really get that external rotation. Remember I talked about that external rotation is super important. So again, I hope you all found this video helpful, and I hope it made sense. If you have any questions or comments, please just go ahead and leave those in the comment section below. Your comments and your questions have been fantastic the last couple of videos, and I hope I have been able to help you understand anything that didn't make sense in the video. If you liked this video and you want me to do another round of arm exercises, go ahead and put #strokearm in the comments below. If you haven't yet subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you've subscribed and you haven't turned on notifications, definitely turn on notifications. As usual, have fun with this activity. Be patient with yourself. I thank you all for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. And I'm so grateful to be able to share what I've learned over the years with all of you. And that is it for me today. So until next time, you all have a great evening.